Hey, and welcome to this meta update where we are looking at what is currently trending in the world of SOVL PVP. In my last video, where I discussed the patch changes, I called out the double treant list as a list with a potential of really polarizing ranked, forcing a sort of rock, paper, scissors meta where the treant lists would force people to go a lot of halberdiers, which could then be preyed upon by range lists, which would be quite vulnerable to the treants. Now, did this happen? I did test out the double treant list for 5 games, and I won 4 of them and I lost 1. 3 of those games I won so handedly, and the one loss was against one of the players I just beat, queuing back up with a list especially designed to take out the treants. Now, it is a bit light on contesting the objective after the changes, but it's still very solid. What I don't like about it is that it is so weak to a counter list. Even so, it's a solid list. Now, did it take over the meta? No, not at all. It seems people just found the list not very appealing. What we've seen instead is a surge in cheap units and casters, reptile kingdoms with the ancient toad and double web and a lot of newts, ratkin clans with doombill and hex and a lot of cheap ratkin units, and most surprising for me, a lot of goblin shamans. Now all 3 of these factions have one thing in common, and that is a lot of defense 3 units and not the strongest long range pressure, which is probably why we've seen such an uptick in conclave elves, and it probably has not been the worst time for Imperial Gun Wizard either. Now, the rest of the factions do see play, but we're just talking less than 20% of the overall if you bunch them up all together. So what does that mean? Well, it appears that instead of a rock, paper, scissors meta, we now have a swarm versus ranged meta. And currently, the range lists are coming out on top. As an example, the Dwarven Ranger Captain is currently the commander with the 2nd highest win rate in the game. And it makes sense. The dwarves can outshoot other lists and it can outfight the swarm lists. Personally, I've had a lot of success running the Elven Spell Sword with fiery blades and a lot of ranged. Of course, this list only works if there's a lot of defense 3 units running around. So what do I recommend? I think currently there is a lot of room for something hypermobile or hyper tanky. So maybe get out there, see if you can make Dread Knights work again, or see if the Darkborn Hex and Harpies list won't shred you a few wins. Oh, and another fun tidbit, Quadruple Web Ancient Toad is currently at like 40% win rate. Now this might be because people haven't really learned how to use web yet, but it also might just be the fact that his retinue is so expensive and the lists he can build are just not good enough. Those were my 5 cents. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe and maybe I'll make some more.